This happened on November 18, 2022 at Westfield High School, about 20 minutes outside Columbus. The school was built in 1954 and hadn't been renovated much since. The lockers were still the original dull green metal, scratched and dented. The fluorescent lights in the hallways buzzed constantly, and some of them flickered like they were struggling to stay on. After 4 p.m., when most students had left, the building felt completely different, too quiet, like the air itself was heavier. I was 17 at the time, a junior, and I stayed late that Friday because I had to finish a biology project. My partner bailed on me, so I told my mom I'd be home by 6. The only people still there were a few teachers, the janitor, and the volleyball team practicing in the gym. By 5:30, even the gym had gone quiet. I was in room 214 on the second floor. From the window, you could see the empty parking lot and the football field behind the school. It was already getting dark. The sky had that cold blue-gray color that makes everything look lifeless. At 5:42 p.m., the power flickered once, not completely off, just a quick dim and back. I didn't think much of it. At 5:47, I heard a locker slam. It echoed down the hallway outside my classroom. I remember freezing because the sound was sharp metal hitting metal, not something you mistake. I stepped into the hallway and looked both ways. Empty. All the classroom doors were locked. The lights at the far end of the hall were off. I told myself it was probably the janitor. I went back inside and tried to focus. But about 2 minutes later, I heard footsteps. Slow, uneven, not the quick steps of someone walking normally. It sounded like someone dragging one foot slightly. They stopped right outside my classroom door. I stared at the handle, expecting it to turn. Instead, there were 3 slow knocks. Not loud, just deliberate. I walked over and opened the door immediately. No one was there. But at the far end of the hallway, near the stairwell, I saw something that made my stomach drop. One of the lockers was slightly open, just a few inches. I stood there for maybe 10 seconds, trying to convince myself I was overreacting. Then the locker door moved. Not swung, not slammed. It slowly creaked open, wider on its own. I didn't see anyone near it. I didn't hear footsteps, just that metal hinge stretching open. And then, from inside the locker, a soft tapping sound, like fingers against steel. That's when I noticed something else. All the other lockers down that row had small ventilation slits near the top, and from 3 of them, I could see darkness. Not normal shadow darkness. It looked deeper, thicker, like something was blocking the inside. I don't know why, but instead of running, I took a step forward. The tapping stopped. The hallway lights flickered again, and in that split second of dim light, I saw it. Through the narrow slits of the open locker, an eye, wide, unblinking, too close to the door to be normal. The lights went fully out. Total darkness. I heard multiple locker doors slam at once. I ran. I didn't even grab my backpack. I sprinted down the stairs, nearly slipping, and pushed through the main entrance doors into the freezing air outside. When I turned back toward the school, the second floor hallway lights were back on, and every locker door was closed. The next Monday, I went to the office and asked if anyone else had been in the building that evening. They checked the security cameras. There was footage of me walking into the hallway, footage of me standing there, but there was no locker opening on camera. No movement at the end of the hall. No one standing near me. Just me, staring at a closed locker. And here's the part that still bothers me. At exactly 5:49 p.m., while I was standing alone in that hallway, the camera near the stairwell glitched for 3 seconds. When it came back, one locker door was slightly open, and something inside it shifted. They told me it was a camera error. I stopped staying late after that, and I avoid lockers now, especially when they're slightly open.